Howdy, folks. I'm a potato that's been peeled to look like a bar of soap.
I'm Amber.
And here's some Reddit. Fun fact, folks. If you cut a potato right, it looks like a bar of soap. I don't know how you'll use that information, but you decide. Our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Making My Boyfriend Feel Uncomfortable After He Insisted on Joining Us in a Girls' Night In? And just for a content warning, this one mentions bodily fluids and functions and stuff like that. My boyfriend is a 27-year-old male, and he started asking to join me and my girls' night in. Every time I tried to say no, he would be like, I have to join you or you have to cancel. It made me and the girls miserable having to sit there with him in the middle. This past Friday, he insisted on joining us again. I had enough, and I came up with an idea to get him to hate hanging out with us. I made a plan and told the girls what we were going to do, and they were down with it. The girls came, and my boyfriend immediately sat down with us and started ruining our conversations by steering them towards him and his work achievements. So here's what I did. I started bringing up gross and embarrassing subjects, and the girls were eating them up by talking about them in detail. Subjects like the cervix, period, his most sensitive spot, cramped diarrhea, hairy legs, farts getting trapped in the vulva, and coming out the front, squeezing stuff out of our faces, cramped diarrhea, dirty underwear, and again, cramped diarrhea. We talked about this stuff in boring details, like I could feel his discomfort without even looking at him. But goodness, when I turned to see why he was so quiet, he was getting red in the face and started sweating all over his forehead. I bet he found himself unable to relate to the subjects and couldn't take part in the conversation. He got up from the couch, ready to head out. I looked at him and asked where he was going, and he was like, I just remembered that I have an important meeting with a guy in about 10 minutes, and I have to go now. He rushed out telling us to have fun. The girls and I started laughing hysterically. He came home and berated me, saying I made him feel uncomfortable/sick with the horrible subjects that I kept bringing up. And I said, what are you talking about? This is typical girl stuff, and we talk about it all the time. But he insisted that I made him upset and caused him to leave. He declined to speak to me and has been quiet since. Am I the jerk? Doesn't sound like you're missing out on much. Update. Y'all, wow. Just got home and left this post at 70 comments, and here I am looking at hundreds of comments, but only read a bunch. You guys, thank you so much for your feedback and enlightening advice. Just to add context, this is his apartment. He tells me who is and who isn't allowed to come, and I thought this was fine since it's his place. Though I help with the bills, but he makes so much more as the head of security at his company, so that's that. I just can't believe how dense and blind I am to his negative ways. He's still giving me the silent treatment, and I've decided it's just a lot to take. So I'm temporarily moving in with one of the girls and will now be definitely reconsidering a few things. I just wanted to keep you guys updated since many of you got engaged in this post. Thank you so much for those DMing me their concerns. Appreciate your time and concerns. Many hugs go out to you guys. Really appreciate y'all. All right, folks. What do you think of this one? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
OP, I would have a hard time faulting you here. He's interrupting your time together, and it's important for couples to have separate time from each other, and there's nothing wrong with that. You wanted to hang out with your friends, and he wanted to kind of eavesdrop and be there for some reason, and I'm not sure why. I mean, it seems like maybe he wants this extra time to hang out with you, but there seems to be like some kind of control issue here really at play more than anything, and I think that's kind of a little bit of a red flag. Though, I mean, I'm not sure. It just seems like, why does he have the need to come by and hang out with you folks when you all are, having your own time? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Surely he can find a way to entertain himself for a few hours without being in his apartment. Let me know what you folks think. I don't think that OP's the jerk here, but I'm curious what you folks have to say. Anyhow, take care and good luck. The big question is, why are you choosing to be with a man that refuses to respect your right to hang out with other people without him? Edited ad. Thank you, Redditors. You are too kind. Honestly, a man who gets ickies from period talk isn't really ready for a relationship with women.
Yes.
I'm a man, by the way. Oh no, periods. I can't talk about those. Yeah, if I said cancel or I'm coming, my girlfriend would say, no, it's not up to me. I could pout, scream, cry, debate, or threaten to dump her, but nothing I did could get her to cancel or make me come. All it would do is make me look like a bad partner. Instead of doing this prank, I don't get why OP can't just say no, and if she doesn't feel like she can, then why is she with him? And that's actually a really good point. And I'm a little confused about the living arrangement. It sounds like OP is living in the house, but it sounds like he kind of lords that over her, which I think is not a good look on him at all. And I think that is a little concerning because he's kind of treating this like OP is like guest in his house, and unless he gets to decide end of the day, full stop, who's allowed and who isn't allowed in his house, which I think is a really crummy way of handling things. Now the jerk I have to join you or I have to cancel it is controlling. Rethink your relationship with him. Alright, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Making a Joke About My Brother's Affair at His Wedding? And I mean, just for a content warning, this does talk about affairs. When I was in elementary school, I was the type of kid who got disrupts class often on the report card, so I never focused much on school. My district had the system where they would pair high schoolers with younger kids to help them with school, etc. And my mom made me do that after I kept getting into trouble. So my tutor was the freshman Abby, so she would come to our house after school to help me with my homework or something. I barely remember. My brother John was the same age as Abby, and so they would talk to each other and ended up dating. She stopped tutoring me officially after like a month, but since she was at our house a lot, I also talked to Abby a lot and we were very close as well. Well, fast forward 10 years, Abby and John got married and had a kid together. 5 years later, John tells me that he's getting a divorce because he met someone new. It was bad because I liked John and Abby together, but whatever. Then he tells me that he had an affair with his new girlfriend, which is also bad, and I told him that he shouldn't have hurt Abby like that, but whatever. I also asked Abby how she was doing, and she said she wasn't doing so well, but she told me that she didn't want to be the reason why I had a bad relationship with my brother. However, 2 months before the wedding, Abby calls me and tells me that my brother's girlfriend has been harassing her non-stop. She showed me text, and his girlfriend was saying some pretty disturbing stuff about how she's so much better than Abby, taunting Abby for having shared custody of her kid now, etc., and just making fun of her and bullying her. I told my brother about this, and he said he would ask his girlfriend about it. A month later, I asked him if he ever brought this up, and he said he did, but he saw nothing wrong with the texts, which made me mad. I confirmed that he saw the same text as me. Abby apologized for involving me in the whole thing in the first place and encouraged me to still go to the wedding, where my brother asked me to make a speech. Well, the speech went well until I made a joke. The gist of the joke was me turning to his new wife and telling her that if she's learned anything from this, she should know that my brother will, quote, never let his wife stop him from finding the true love of his life. Burn. This got my brother and his wife really mad, and they kicked me out shortly after. And my brother has been calling/texting me nonstop and yelling at me. So, am I the jerk? Alright, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
At worst, a tiny bit, but the brother and his new wife suck way, way more.
Malicious compliance at its finest. I'll go to your wedding and make a speech, sure. You know, I do think that this does make OP a little bit of a jerk in this, but I don't know. It's also one of those things where everyone's kind of a jerk here, and except for Abby. Abby's kind of the poor person who is being like, you know, has the brunt of the worst of all of this. And I think OP here was looking out for Abby's best interest, and he really was hurt that his brother did this to her, and he's been very close to Abby, and it's really unfortunate that and he looked at kind of probably views Abby as like a sister to him, and so yeah, I think that this is just not a good situation, and I feel bad for OP for having to deal with this, but I also have a really hard time blaming OP entirely because they kind of had it coming a little bit. I don't know. Maybe that's not a charitable way of looking at things, but I would be curious about what you folks have to say. Anyhow, take care and good luck. You know how vigilantes are technically in the wrong, but we all cheer them on anyways? You're the jerk, but high five. I read the title, really? You're not sure? And then I laughed at the joke. So maybe we're all jerks. Yeah, it was a really great joke and all, but didn't think this through. He shot himself in the foot though. He set a high bar and now has to find a way to top that before his brother's next wedding. Oh! Oh! Ouch! I felt that one from here, folks. He's the hero we all deserve. Everyone's kind of the jerk technically, but still. Clearly you were a jerk, but I'm not mad at all. Everyone's the jerk. Also, if you want to help Anne, tell her to show those texts to her lawyer. Pretty sure the judge in a custody court would not find them amusing at all. Not amusing at all. Alright folks, it is tea time. Make sure to grab your favorite beverage, or just water, or anything. Just stay hydrated. As you can see, I do have a tea today, and I did Wordle in 3 of 6. This is my one from yesterday, my Sunday's one, where I was like, oh, I had weird things happen. So yeah. What is the difference between a counterfeit bill and a crazy rabbit? One is bad money, the other is a mad bunny. I try not to look at the punchlines before those. Oh no. No, no, no. Terrible. A horrible joke. Hopefully it's a good joke to start your Monday off with. Oh, and by the way, I have mint tea.
No, you don't. I have mint tea.
By the way, I have licorice spice tea.
I have mint tea.
Apparently I have a lost mind. Alright, our last letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Walking Out of the Baby Shower My In-Laws Threw for Me? And this video does have a couple of content warnings. It does involve death, and it does involve pregnancy. This situation is kind of a mess. I'm a 27-year-old female, and I'm expecting my first baby with my husband. This is the first grandchild in the family in-laws, and they said that if the baby is a boy, then we'll name him after my father-in-law's name. He's dead due to cancer. I had no problem with that. This happened before we found out the gender of the baby. My husband and his family had me do things like attend prayers and do other rituals before the reveal at the doctor's, and I didn't like it, but I just went with it to keep the peace. Wow, that does not seem healthy already. Doctor's appointment came, and it turned out to be a girl. My husband cried in the car and then turned his phone off to hide from his family, and then finally told them. His mom and others made their frustration and disappointment clear, which bothered me cause my daughter deserved to be celebrated, but they ghosted me for days and then started coming over and visiting, constantly referring to my daughter as my son, claiming that the results were false, and basically pretending that it was a boy. I had several fights with them after they refused to stop it, and my husband sided with them despite seeing how wrong and unreasonable they were and what they were doing. We didn't speak for a while. Well, my sister-in-law called to apologize and then informed me that she had arranged a baby shower for me. I was so excited and happy, but when I arrived, I saw blue balloons, a blue cake with the father-in-law's name and decorations around. I was so confused I had to sit down. Sister-in-law explained that they were still hoping that the gender results are false and it's a boy. Wow. That's delusional. That is not healthy. That is a delusion. I looked at my husband and he agreed with her. I lost my temper and yelled at them all, calling them delusionals and telling them to stop treating my daughter like she's unwanted and act like she doesn't exist by throwing a party for their imaginary grandson. Mother-in-law breaks down crying. I took my bag and walked out immediately. They started yelling at my husband and followed me outside, arguing about how I insulted the family and his dad's memory by acting like that. I told him to wake up and see the insanity in his family's behavior. He said they needed time to process the fact that it's a girl, not a boy, and expected and insisted that I play along and they'll get over it soon. I said absolutely not and demanded he take me home. He said no, so I called an Uber and I left. He was fuming and called me 15 times, then texted me that he won't be coming home till I get my butt over and apologize for ruining everything that they've done for me. Yeah, that's right. That's right. They did this for you, OP. Wow, with friends like this, you don't need enemies. And accusing them of being mentally unstable. I haven't responded yet, and he's constantly pressuring me to get right with his family before we even talk about anything else. All right, folks, this is a wild one. What do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk, and maybe divorce after.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, maybe don't write off a divorce yet. Maybe OP, keep that one on the books. Like, keep that idea in the back of your head that maybe, just maybe, this relationship might not be salvageable between your husband's attitude and the family. at the very minimum, I think at this point in time, you need to open up the lines of communication, and you need to both sit down in therapy, couples counseling, if you're still trying to salvage this relationship, and work through these problems. He's stonewalling you. He's playing along with a ridiculous game that they're playing. It does not matter how much they wish that the baby is going to be a boy. I know that they want to keep the father-in-law's memory alive, but this is not the right way to approach this. This is an unhealthy way to approach it. And the fact that they're disregarding your feelings and treating you basically like you're just an incubator at this point in time is completely uncalled for and completely unacceptable. These people need to reevaluate their priorities. They need to sit down, and they owe you an apology, OP. You don't owe them an apology.
Also, like, if they favor the boy this badly, like, if OP has a boy the next time around, then there's going to be huge favoritism.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Like, what happens in the future, OP, if you have a boy? Then they're going to do this exact same thing. Then also, they're going to treat the daughter like she's not even like a real child, you know, or a real relative. And I think because there's going to be a lot of resentment towards her as well at that point in time. So, OP, I would tread very carefully with this family. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Yep, they can delude themselves all they want, but when that baby arrives, they can't deny that she does, in fact, not have a dingle-dangle, and they're going to treat her like absolute garbage. The fact that your husband is supporting them and also delusional is a huge red flag. Unless you want your daughter raised by a bunch of misogynists, I would seriously consider getting out of there now, not the jerk. She should take the home. He won't come back until she makes this right. Great. He's abandoning her. She should change the locks, send him divorce papers, and get legal advice on keeping them all away from her and her daughter, as they are not right in the head. They're obsessed with making this baby girl her father-in-law reincarnate, and if this is real, I wouldn't let them anywhere near us. And there definitely will be no more kids with this man. So, you already know how your daughter is going to be treated in this family. Time to take a nice hard look at how your life will be between now and when you die, and how your daughter's life will be, and what it will be like, and it's time to make some hard decisions. Not the jerk, you need to actually divorce this man, and when your daughter comes, maybe you will be able to get him to sign away any parental rights. This is totally sick, and you are totally spot on. The way your husband is feeding into this madness raises all sorts of red flags to me. I can see this family ignoring your daughter when she gets here and making her feel like she's not enough because she's not a boy. I have seen this happen before, and it is sick. Congratulations on your baby girl, and I hope it works out in the way that is happy and healthy for both of you. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving it a like, and if you didn't, consider giving a dislike. Happy Monday. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're getting everything, all your dreams and wishes to come true today. And if they don't, tell Luck to come and see me, and I will reprimand them and tell Luck that it needs to do a better job at providing you with a better day. Waggle a finger, Luck, if you didn't do that. Anyhow, take care, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Everyone's probably like, Brian, you've really gone loopy now, haven't you?
At least you're not trying to magically gender change a baby.
Yeah. When I was in elementary school, I was the type of kid who gets blah, 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 blah.